Right now, though, we get to have a conversation with the recipient of the Faithful Warrior Award for this year, Peter Range. Good morning, Peter.
Hi, Pete.
Hey, good morning, team. It's great to be with you this morning. And I just want to give the award to Bishop Thomas again this year. So I don't just put you up on the banquet. But, hey, I want to start off with Psalm 62 this morning, just verse 1 and 2. For God alone my soul waits in silence. From him comes my salvation. He alone is my rock and my salvation, my fortress. I shall never be shaken. Now, I'm not going to ask for a moment of silence here on radio, but, take some time today at some point to sit in silence, allow the Lord to speak to you, and he will speak to you. Yeah, trust that. If you spend some time, especially before the Blessed Sacrament today, the Lord will speak to you in silence. And it's stories like I'm going to cover today which really just drive me to the Blessed Sacrament because it's so heartbreaking and heart-wrenching, but it's a good reminder for all of us to realize the culture that we're living in, to recognize what then we are being called to. And that is, we are being called not to comfort, but we're being called to greatness. We ourselves are being called to be saints for our culture and society today. So you may have seen last week there was a YouTube kind of influencer. His name is Jesse Ridgway. He goes by McJuggerNuggets on YouTube, kind of a silly name, but he's amassed over 4.3 million subscribers.
Wow.
And has racked up more than 2.3 billion total views for all the material that he kind of puts out there. So it's related to finance and tech videos. There's family-related vlogs that he does. But he's also the kind of author of a few different narrative-based web series, most notably the Psycho series, The Devil Inside, My Virtual Escape. So some interesting background there for sure, but most of our listeners may have already heard the tragic news that on April 26th, Jesse and his wife, Ashley, they announced to their ocean of followers that they're going to have a baby. And then, they're excited about it and everything. A little over a week later, then they posted back online. They went back in front of everybody at a gender kind of reveal, and they said that they made the difficult decision to terminate their baby, doing this kind of live on their channel, if you will, due to trisomy 21, or what we colloquially would call Down syndrome. They said the choice was not made very lightly. Now, there's a lot of online kind of backlash that followed, and almost rightly so, but unfortunately, that being online, it just can become a cesspool, and it's not a place to have sometimes really hard choices. But, in the midst of this, Jesse, in responding to one of the respondents, said, well, I'm glad that, my dad didn't terminate me, but I'm normal. And it's just, again, if you know anybody who has Down syndrome, trisomy 21, it's a genetic condition. It's caused by an extra chromosome of chromosome 21, and instead of 2 copies, individuals have 3. So that extra genetic material alters development. It causes varying degrees of kind of intellectual disability, distinct physical features, and there's an increased risk for specific medical conditions, maybe involving the heart. But, if you've ever encountered anybody with Down syndrome, there's such a unique joy and unique goodness in them. It's hard to describe or even to put into words. And I'm so thankful for every child that has trisomy 21, and the parents that have chosen life for them. They're just such a beautiful witness of the goodness and the beauty of life, and such a witness to God makes each one of us, no matter how different, each made in his image and likeness. Now, this story made it all the way up to the Speaker of the House, and he responded actually on Capitol Hill to it, because he said that this story is really directly tied to the celebration we'll have as a nation on July 4th. He talked about that we're all created in the image of God, and we have inestimable dignity and value. Every unborn child is worth fighting for. He said this is what differentiates the West from different ideologies from around the world, like Marxism, for example, because we believe each life has inherent value given by a creator who gives us life and all the rights that we have as well. The philosophy that follows that rights come from government, puts down inherent value, that we're just one another social animal, and that we can be judged kind of on this, spectrum of, whether or not, quote unquote, that you're normal. But we are the greatest nation in the history of the world because we're founded on that creed that's listed in our nation's birth certificate, Johnson finished, and it's right in the second paragraph. It's a self-evident truth. Now, I don't think the Pope was responding necessarily to this case, but he certainly made some strong remarks just this Monday. And what courage to go into the parliament there in Spain. He made his first stop of his week-long visit there to Spain on Monday to deliver kind of a firm defense of unborn life and a condemnation of abortion. The Pope told Spanish lawmakers that every human life must be recognized and safeguarded from conception to its natural end in every circumstance of its existence. So he continued on that a community that casts into shadows the unborn child, the elderly, the sick, those who suffer in silence, or those who depend entirely on the care of others, cannot be fully called just. He added that this principle of the dignity of the human person, this is by which nations, or the moral greatness of a nation, is manifested. I love that this is the defining characteristic, whether or not a great moral nation is manifested, how we treat the weak among us, how we treat the different, the not normal among us, the unborn, those with trisomy 21, those with Down syndrome. That's the measure, ultimately, of our society. And it's because of the Pope and it's because of our nation's founding that we work so hard here at Say Yes to Life for the advancement of the protection of human life. And so we're hiring. And so I invite our listeners, if you're inspired by these segments or the work that we do on Say Yes to Life, join us at ccv.org. We're hiring for a pro-life manager, and we would love to have you join us in this fight for life.
Love it, Pete. And our founding documents lay it out very well. We just have to live up to them. That's all.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's right.
It's
first
just so
right,
sad
the right
that,
to life.
Yeah, that people don't appreciate that even these children, that there might be something physically wrong with them. Gosh, we're all broken, right? I mean, we're all broken. And so
that's
just
what
love
makes
them.
us human. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amen.
Peter Range, Say Yes to Life. Thanks, Pete.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
I'll be with
Pete.
you.
Bye-bye.